everybody. Hi, it's summer. It's summer. It's just a time for like sunshine and relaxation and... Oh, is it July 1st? Oh my God, free agency! Ah! Barricade the door. We don't want Chris Russell getting in. What if after all this time Kyle Dubas was just admitting wearing a mask? A gorgeous mask. Leafs Nation and everyone else who just enjoys watching because of the Freak Show. Let's talk about free agency. Let's talk about what happened. Now, I've had about 24 hours to think about most of these moves, except for the one that just came down the wire. My phone is plugged in. There we go. Roman Polak just signed with a team. No, it's a team he played with before. San Jose Sharks. Did he re-sign with the team that he went to the Stanley Cup final with? Oh, I know who it is. You know, a lot of teams around the league don't have Roman Polak. Yeah. Not like St. Louis, though. They do again. No. No, it was, yeah, excuse me. This is Toronto Maple Leafs. Toronto Maple Leafs signed Roman Polak to a 1-year contract. Yeah, that Roman Polak. Which takes a bit of the sting off them signing Matt Martin for $10 million. Not per season, that would be crazy. 2.5 for the next 4. And I see tons of Leafs Nation up in arms. A lot of people can't understand what the hell the Leafs are doing. Why would they sign a guy who had 19 points last year for 4 years? Why would they sign Roman frickin' Polak of all people? And you know what? I'm actually pretty cool with it. Leafs Nation, get ready for me to be a bit of a hypocrite here. You need to relax. Look, after the draft, well, specifically day 2 of the draft, I was stoked about Austin Matthews, but after day 2 of the 2016 NHL draft, a lot of people were unhappy with the way the Leafs drafted, and I spoke to some people about it, and they convinced me it wasn't that great, but you know what? At the end of the day, I said, I don't have to give this management group the benefit of the doubt, and I'm disappointed in how that day went. And when it came to free agency, oh, was I so scared. Dude, what was the number? 135 players signed on July 1st alone, over $600 million committed. By the way, what do you all plan on doing during the next lockout? I can think of a few things. And it was stressing me out, guys. I was as stressed out as you, maybe more. I had too much caffeine in the morning, and then I find out the Leafs are one of 2 teams that are still in on Chris Russell. What? What do you need him for? It's okay, I'm sure he'll be cheap. What do you mean he wants $5 million? It's okay, I'm sure it won't be that long. What do you mean he wants 6 years? Does he think his last name is Letang? Who is this guy? And I spent the better part of the day breathing into a paper bag, trying to convince myself, don't worry, they won't do it, and then trying to convince myself I won't cry if they do it. Actually cry. 28 years old, bitter tears of sadness. Still might happen, by the way. I'm trying to block that out. But they only signed 2 guys. 2. Matt Martin we can be pretty quick with. I already made a Twitter video about that whole signing yesterday. I posted it on sportsnet.ca, so please go check it out there. But Matt Martin coming to the Leafs, it's not a move I would have done, frankly, but it's also not cataclysmic. $2.5 million is manageable, and 4 years is a little long, but that's also manageable. It's not like he's going to be a lemon. I mean, if he is, then that sucks. And people have this weird perception of what he's going to be on the Leafs. Oh, he's just protection for the young guys. He's just going to be a goon. The guy can't score. Okay, well, it's true that he hits a lot, he can fight, and he only put up 19 points. Yeah, that's not all that appetizing now, is it? And yeah, he doesn't do a whole lot in terms of shot generation, but his numbers actually suggest he's actually pretty good at shot suppression. I think he could be some decent veteran presence on the Leafs. He'll be a little jam. He'll be a little added toughness. We'll see. Roman Polak comes in. 1-year deal. And guys, you know I wasn't the biggest Roman Polak fan while he was a Leaf. Go ahead and watch my videos. I'll try to think of a few specific ones. All of them, since he was traded for Gunnarsson, pretty much. But guys, you're Leafs fans. You've probably been watching these videos for a while, and you've definitely been watching the Leafs for a while. How don't you see what's going on here? This isn't the first time in recent memory that the Leafs have had a guy, traded that guy for a bunch of picks, brought that guy back with the intention of trading him again for a bunch of picks. I mean, that's not even the only thing that Daniel Winnick and Roman Polak have in common. They can both grow a 5 o'clock shadow by 1 in the afternoon. Now, I've seen a few criticisms about this, and they're all legitimate, okay? But I'm going to try to refute them. This signing takes ice time away from young defensemen. Well, yeah, you're absolutely right. It does. And while that is technically a truth, we need to visit whether or not that is actually a bad thing. The list of right-hand shot defensemen that the Leafs have who are not named Roman Polak is as follows. Frankie Corrado, Connor Carrick, Nikita Zaitsev. Oh, did you want me to continue? Now, once again, saying Roman Polak is not the greatest defenseman in the world. Let's think of these things. 1, Despite his great possession numbers, what if Frankie Corrado isn't all that great despite playing a whole half a season with the Leafs last year? What if Connor Carrick's incredible Calder Cup playoff run, especially offensively, was just a flash in the pan? And what if Nikita Zaitsev, who has never in 7 years of professional hockey played a professional hockey game on North American ice, turns into a pumpkin? Not to mention, since when don't players get hurt? My concern going into next season for a while now has been letting the kids just run amok, which might turn out awesome, but if one of them gets hurt, or if one of them gets overwhelmed by the workload, or if one of them just can't handle it, doesn't prove that they're ready to be an NHL player, then what? Your options then are make a hasty trade, make a random mid-season signing, which those always work out so well, or call up someone who might even be less prepared. Well, now, Steve, riddle me this. Couldn't the Leafs have signed a different veteran defenseman who's a right-hand shot? Yup. You got me there. That's true, yes. But let me throw this out there because I think the answer lies in an organizational mantra. Rich Clune, who may or may not even be back with the team, but when I got to talk to him when he was with the Marlies or got to sit in on a scrum, he would bring up Mike Babcock quotes, and he would bring up Mike Babcock within the context of a Marlies conversation. And you heard him, Mike Babcock would always bring up players who live right, you know? And Lou Lamoriello, I think, was going by that too. One thing you can't take away from Roman Polak, that guy worked damn hard, and he was one of the toughest guys on the team last year, if not the toughest, and certainly one of the strongest. That didn't make him a Norris candidate, but it made him a nice guy to have around. When you're a coach just trying so hard to ingrain a message, several messages, in a young, terrible team. Guys, the Leafs finished last place last year. I know they're young and they're going in a certain direction, but that doesn't necessarily make them good. When you're a coach in that position, I don't think it hurts to have a few voices in the dressing room that have your back. I'm not saying it's the most bulletproof logic, but I bet that's where the Leafs are going. Also, who watching this video right now, who among you honestly believe that Roman Polak is going to be a Toronto Maple Leaf after the trade deadline? Seriously, do any of you believe that's going to be the case? Unless he gets injured like P.A. Parento did or something, there's no way. He's definitely going to go for picks again, which, by the way, the Leafs got 2 seconds for this guy. Sort of, I know. Now, I will throw one thing out there before I publish this video. At the time I'm making this, I don't know how much money they gave him, but assuming it's in the ballpark of what it was before, I'm okay with it. Even Matt Martin, I don't want that guy playing on my first line, man. I want the kids doing that, but are the kids ready? The Leafs are going to go into next season with Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner, William Nylander, Connor Brown, who am I missing? Zach Hyman, Nikita Soshnikov. I'm probably missing other names. They're just going to give all those kids spots. Do Mike Babcock and Lou Lamoriello strike you as the kind of people to just give spots away to kids? And not taking anything away from those guys. They're all very talented players who I think have NHL futures ahead of them. But a lot of those guys are getting their spots in the NHL on the Toronto Maple Leafs by default. Ask anybody who played in the Detroit Red Wings farm system over the last decade or so how easy it is to be in the AHL and then make the NHL out of camp. This damn game changed everything. This was the game that the Leafs called all the kids up. I think it was Nylander, Hyman, Kapanen, and I'm missing one, but it was 4 of them. And I didn't get to go to this game. I had a podcast to record, so my wife went instead. She enjoyed it. I did not, because I was not there. Not bitter or anything. I did. It changed things. That game changed things, okay? It changed the expectations of fans. Everyone's like, the kid era has arrived. That's what it's going to be all about. Woo! Just ride them all! Not so fast. Now, it's still only halfway through July 2nd, so the Leafs could still do other things. But in the meantime, you look at what the Edmonton Oilers have done, okay, with Milan Lucic. You look at what the Vancouver Canucks have done with Louis Eriksson. Lucic, I think, could end up being a great addition for the Oilers. Louis Eriksson, not trying to take away anything from him as a player, but both of those teams stunk last season. So you could spend money that way and go out and get free agents and pay them way more than they deserve for way longer than they deserve, or you can develop. In terms of a rebuilding team, I don't mind what the Leafs are doing. And anyone who watched the Marlies during the playoffs, I'm not trying to pull that card or anything, but they did get pushed around a little bit. Now, another argument I've seen a lot of is, well, the Leafs have veterans. Hey, okay, they got Colin Greening. All right, they got Milan Mahalik. They got Brooks Lake. A bunch of other ones? Well, okay, you're making a lot of assumptions. First of all, none of those guys are defensemen, okay? I love Morgan Riley and Jake Gardiner, but do you really want those guys showing everyone the ropes? Morgan Riley's a great player. He's a fantastic player, I think. A young player with a bright future, may even be the Leafs' future captain, but he doesn't exactly scream grizzled vet. And two, would it surprise anyone if the Leafs were trying to trade any of those guys? Believe me, I want to hate these moves as much as you do, okay? I would love to freak out in these videos. I mean, the video might even get more views. I can't bring myself to do it. What do you think, all right? Just let me have it in the comment section, on Twitter too, as if I even needed to tell you that. I think we're going to cut it off there. We're going to cut it off there, not talk too much about the other NHL teams and their crazy free agent signings, because I want to save those for the Panago Pizza Steve Dangle podcast coming up on Tuesday. Actually, we think it's Tuesday. We go down to one a week now. So that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really like to tell all your friends, and let me know. I don't hate these as much as everyone else does. Look, they didn't build Rome in a day. You see Roman because Rome. And they're not going to build Austin Matthews' statue in a day either. It's going to take a while. Well, came downstairs, turned the camera back on because the Leafs made another signing. It's that time of the season. Is this even in focus? Hasn't been in focus this whole time. I'm sorry, that's a pet peeve. The Leafs have signed Justin Holl. H-O-L-L, but it's pronounced Hall. He is a right-handed defenseman, and he's been with the Leafs organization for a while now. And by a while, I mean all of last year. He was signed to an AHL-only deal. He was with the Marlies, one of only, I think, like 2 guys on the roster that weren't eligible to be called up to the NHL, which is very impressive because the Leafs wanted to use the Marlies for their prospects, and he wasn't one, but he really earned a spot. Right-handed defenseman, which we talked about is something they need. It's a premium. This doesn't mean he's going to make the team out of camp or anything, but it does mean that they can call him up to the NHL. 2010 second rounder of the Chicago Blackhawks. Didn't work out for him, and now look at that. He's on an NHL deal. Can I end this video this time? Holy smokes.